Hello everyone and welcome to Learn English Fast. I'm Henry, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. I know learning English can feel overwhelming sometimes, maybe even frustrating, especially when you want to speak but your brain just doesn't keep up. Have you ever tried to say something in English, but your mind went blank, or you kept translating every word in your head and by the time you were ready, the moment was gone? I know that feeling, and I understand it completely. It can make you feel nervous, shy, or even like giving up. But today, I want to tell you something very important. Speaking English naturally, confidently, and fluently is possible for everyone, including you. Many learners face this problem. They know the words, they've studied the grammar, they even understand English when they read or listen, but when it comes to speaking, something stops them. Maybe you were at a restaurant and wanted to order food in English. You thought, okay, I know what to say, but then your brain started translating every word from your native language, and suddenly you froze. Your heart might have started beating faster, your palms got sweaty, and the sentence just wouldn't come out. Or maybe you tried to join a conversation with friends, but your mind was so busy thinking about the right grammar, the right words, the right pronunciation, that you ended up staying silent. If this has ever happened to you, let me tell you, you are not alone. Almost every English learner experiences this, and it's completely normal to feel that way. Here's the truth though, thinking too much before speaking is actually the main reason fluency feels so far away. Your brain is so busy translating and checking grammar that your mouth can't catch up. And the more you overthink, the slower you become. You might even feel embarrassed or frustrated with yourself. I've seen learners stop themselves from speaking because they're worried about making mistakes or saying something wrong. And that's exactly why so many people struggle with English speaking, even if they understand everything perfectly. The good news is, this problem can be solved. You can train your brain to stop overthinking and start speaking English automatically. And when you do that, everything changes. Speaking becomes smooth, natural, and even fun. Now, let's talk about why this happens. One big reason is the translation habit. Most learners automatically think in their native language first and then try to translate into English. This may feel natural at first, but it slows everything down. Another reason is fear. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They want everything to be perfect. They worry about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, even tone. This fear makes them pause, hesitate, and sometimes avoid speaking altogether. And the third reason is simply lack of speaking practice. You may know hundreds of words and understand all the rules, but if you don't use English regularly, your mouth and brain aren't ready to speak quickly. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. You can read about balancing, pedaling, and turning, but until you actually get on the bike and practice, you can't ride smoothly. The same is true for English. The first step to solving this is understanding that fluency doesn't mean perfection. Fluency is about speaking naturally, confidently, and without fear. It's about allowing your brain and mouth to work together automatically. Imagine driving a car. At first, you think about every single step, turning the key, pressing the brake, changing the gear. It's slow, it's stressful, and you might even make mistakes. But after some practice, driving becomes automatic. You don't even think about it, you just drive. Speaking English works the same way. At first, it feels hard, because your brain is busy translating and checking grammar. But with the right practice, your speech becomes automatic. Words flow naturally, sentences form effortlessly, and confidence grows. So how can you start training your brain to think in English? The first step is simple. Start small. Begin with everyday thoughts and actions. When you wake up, think, I am brushing my teeth. When you see your phone, think, this is my phone. When you make tea, think, the tea is hot. Look around your room and describe what you see. The window is open. The chair is brown. I see a book on the table. Talk about what you're doing. I am walking to school. I am cutting vegetables. These small, simple sentences are exercises for your brain. The more you do them, the faster your brain adapts to thinking in English. Soon, you won't need to translate anymore. English will appear directly in your mind. The next step is practicing small sentences out loud every day. You don't need to speak long or complicated sentences. Start with simple ones. I like coffee. It is sunny today. I am reading a book. These sentences might seem small, but they are powerful. They train your brain and mouth to work together, build your confidence, and prepare you for longer sentences later. You can practice by shadowing, which means listening to a native speaker and immediately repeating what they say. You can also practice self-talk, describing your surroundings or actions out loud, even if nobody is listening. 5 to 10 minutes every day of consistent speaking practice can make a huge difference. Another important step is to focus on phrases, not just individual words. Many learners try to speak by combining single words, like, I want coffee, which sounds slow and unnatural. Instead, learn ready-made phrases that native speakers use all the time. Can I get a coffee, please? That's a good idea. I'm not sure about that. These phrases are like building blocks. When you use them, your speech becomes faster, smoother, and more natural. Listen to English podcasts, TV shows, and conversations. Write down useful phrases and practice them repeatedly until they feel natural. Use them in your daily conversations to gain confidence. Practicing in real conversations is also essential. Thinking in English, practicing sentences, and learning phrases is good, but the real test is speaking with other people. Conversations are unpredictable. You don't know what the other person will say. Speak with friends, find a language partner online, join English clubs, or practice in small group chats. Don't worry about mistakes. Every mistake is a step forward. The more you practice in real-life situations, the more automatic your English becomes. You'll notice that your words start flowing naturally, without pauses to translate. Finally, overcoming fear is critical. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, or fear of sounding silly holds learners back. But remember, every fluent speaker made countless mistakes before they became fluent. Change your mindset. Focus on communicating meaning rather than perfection. Celebrate small wins. Even one sentence spoken confidently is progress. Confidence grows with practice, and fear decreases. A simple daily routine can help you speak English automatically. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. 5 minutes thinking in English, describing surroundings and actions. 5 minutes shadowing, listening and repeating. 5 minutes speaking out loud, using small sentences and phrases. Daily consistency trains your brain to think in English automatically. Slowly, your speech becomes smoother, faster, and more natural. You stop translating, you speak automatically, and one day speaking English feels just like speaking your own language. Remember, speaking English without thinking is a skill, not a talent. It takes patience, practice, and courage. Mistakes are normal, and they show that you are improving. Think in English every day, practice small sentences and phrases, speak even for a few minutes, use real conversations, don't fear mistakes, stay consistent, and believe in yourself. Confidence grows as you speak more, and fear disappears. Follow these steps and English will become natural for you. You will speak automatically, fluently, and confidently. Keep practicing, stay patient, enjoy the process, and remember, small daily practice leads to big results. So now that we understand why thinking too much slows us down, let's move to the next step. Training your brain to speak English automatically. This part is very exciting because once you start practicing the right way, you will notice a huge difference in how fast and confident you speak. Imagine feeling comfortable in any English conversation, expressing your thoughts clearly, without hesitation, and even enjoying the process. That's exactly what we are going to build together. The first thing you need to do is stop translating in your head. I know it sounds simple, but it is not easy at first. Most learners are so used to thinking in their native language and converting words to English that it feels unnatural to think directly in English. But here's the truth, every second you spend translating is a second wasted. Your conversation slows down, and your brain gets tired. So, We must train it to stop translating and start thinking in English directly. Let's start with a simple exercise. Every day, pick 5 things around you and describe them in English. Look at your room and say, "The chair is brown. The window is open. I see a book on the table." Look at your phone and think, "This is my phone. The screen is black. I am holding it." The key here is to use simple, clear sentences. At first, your mind might try to switch back to your native language. That's okay, it's normal. Every time you catch yourself translating, gently bring your thoughts back to English. This simple daily habit is like weight training for your brain. It builds strength and speed over time. Next, start talking about your actions out loud. Don't just think silently, speak. If you are cooking, say, "I am cutting the vegetables. I am boiling water. I am washing the dishes." If you are walking outside, say, "I am walking to school. The sky is blue. The sun is shining." This step is so important because your mouth needs to learn how to form English sentences naturally, not just your brain. Speaking small sentences aloud every day creates muscle memory in your mouth and vocal cords, which is exactly what makes native speakers sound smooth. Another crucial tip is shadowing practice. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say. This could be from a podcast, YouTube video, or even TV shows. For example, if the speaker says, "How are you today?" you repeat it immediately, trying to match their tone, speed, and emotion. This practice trains your brain to process English as it is spoken, rather than translating it word by word. It's one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect at first. The goal is to move your brain and mouth together, creating an automatic flow. Now, let's talk about phrases. Using single words is slow and unnatural. Instead, learn ready-made phrases that native speakers use every day. For example, "Can I get a coffee, please?" "That's a great idea." "I'm not sure about that." These phrases are pre-constructed blocks of language. When you use them, your brain doesn't need to build sentences word by word, it just delivers them naturally. Write down useful phrases you hear in conversations, podcasts, or videos, and practice repeating them until they feel like second nature. Over time, you'll notice that your sentences start forming automatically, and you speak faster without thinking too much. Speaking in real conversations is the next step. All the practice in your room or alone is helpful, but real conversations are unpredictable. You don't know what the other person will say, so your brain has to work fast. Speak with friends who know English, join online conversation groups, or even practice with a teacher. When you talk with someone, focus on communicating meaning, not perfection. Don't worry about grammar mistakes or pronunciation errors. Mistakes are proof that you are learning. The more you practice real conversations, the more natural your English becomes, and slowly, translating disconfidence is another key factor. Many learners stop themselves from speaking because of fear. Fear of making mistakes, sounding silly, or being judged. But here's the truth, every fluent speaker you know has made countless mistakes. Mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to improve. The more you speak, the more confident you become, and the less fear you feel. Celebrate small wins. Even if you speak just one sentence correctly, that's progress. Each time you use English, your confidence grows. Your brain starts associating speaking with success, not anxiety. Let's also discuss building a daily speaking habit. Even 15 minutes a day can make a massive difference. Here's a simple routine you can follow. 5 minutes thinking in English, describing what you see and what you do. 5 minutes shadowing a podcast, video, or conversation, repeating exactly what the speaker says. 5 minutes speaking out loud, using small sentences and phrases. That's just 15 minutes a day, but consistency is key. Daily practice creates automatic speaking, smooths your pronunciation, and builds confidence quickly. Another important tip is to use English in real life as much as possible. Don't limit English to your study time. Try writing your shopping list in English, texting a friend in English, or thinking your daily thoughts in English. The more you immerse yourself in English, the faster your brain adapts. Real-life usage strengthens memory, vocabulary, and fluency. Remember, English becomes natural when it's part of your everyday life, not just something you study in a notebook. Now let's talk about mistakes again, because this is where many learners struggle. Mistakes are inevitable and essential. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns the correct form. For example, if you say, "I go yesterday to the market," and someone corrects you, your brain stores the correct sentence, "I went to the market yesterday," for future use. Mistakes are your best teachers, and avoiding them only slows your progress. The key is to accept mistakes as part of learning, stay patient, and keep practicing. Emotions play a huge role in learning English. Feeling nervous, excited, or even frustrated is completely normal. But don't let negative emotions stop you. Use positive emotions to fuel your learning. When you successfully say a sentence in English, feel proud. When you understand a new phrase, celebrate. These emotional rewards create a positive feedback loop in your brain, making learning faster and more enjoyable. Finally, let's summarize the key steps we discussed for Part 2. First, stop translating and think directly in English. Second, describe your actions and surroundings every day. Third, practice small sentences out loud. Fourth, use shadowing to mimic native speakers. Fifth, learn ready-made phrases to speak faster and naturally. Sixth, practice in real conversations and focus on communication. Seventh, overcome fear and build confidence. Eighth, establish a daily routine with even just 15 minutes of focused practice. Ninth, use English in real life and embrace mistakes. And 10th, connect emotions to your learning, celebrating small wins and staying positive. If you follow these steps consistently, you will notice amazing improvements. Your brain will start thinking in English automatically. You will speak faster, smoother, and more confidently. You will stop translating in your head and start expressing yourself naturally. And most importantly, you will enjoy speaking English, because it will feel like a part of you, not a task or struggle. Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent, daily practice, you can achieve it. Small, simple steps every day add up to big results. Train your brain, speak daily, use phrases, practice conversations, embrace mistakes, and stay positive. English will start flowing naturally, and you will speak confidently without hesitation. Now that you are practicing thinking in English, speaking small sentences, using phrases, and building confidence, it's time to take your English to the next level. Part 3 is all about fluency and flow, how to speak smoothly, naturally, and without stopping. This is where many learners struggle, but the good news is, with consistent practice, anyone can achieve it. Imagine speaking English in a conversation and words just flowing out of your mouth like water. No pauses, no hesitation, no stress. That's exactly what we will work towards. The first key to fluency is linking words and sentences naturally. Most learners speak each word separately, like, "I want to eat food," and it sounds slow and broken. Native speakers, however, connect words smoothly, "I want to eat food." This connection is called linking, and it makes your speech faster and more natural. How do you practice linking? Start by listening carefully to native speakers and repeating sentences exactly as they say them. Notice how words are connected. Then try to imitate the rhythm, tone, and pace. Shadowing is extremely useful here. Remember, fluency is not about speed, it's about smoothness and rhythm. When you link words naturally, your brain doesn't pause for translation, and your sentences come out effortlessly. Next, we focus on expanding small sentences into longer sentences. In Part 2, you practiced short sentences like, "I am walking," "I am drinking tea." That's perfect for beginners, but to sound fluent, you need to learn to combine these small ideas into longer thoughts. For example, "I am walking to school, and I am drinking tea because I woke up very early today." Notice how one idea flows into another. Start combining sentences gradually. Don't rush. Even adding just one or two phrases to your small sentences makes a huge difference. The goal is to train your brain to form longer thoughts naturally without stopping to translate or check grammar. Another critical element is using fillers and natural sounds. In real conversations, native speakers use words like, well, actually, so, or you know to keep the conversation flowing. Don't be afraid to use them. Fillers give you time to think while still sounding fluent. For example, if someone asks, what do you like to do on weekends? You might say, well, I usually go hiking, and actually, I love reading books too. Using fillers naturally makes your speech more conversational and less robotic. Practice adding these little words when you speak. They might feel unnecessary at first, but they are a secret trick to sounding fluent. Now let's talk about pronunciation and intonation, which are huge for fluency. Even if your grammar is correct and you know the words, speaking in a flat, monotone voice can make you sound slow and awkward. Fluent speakers use intonation to show emotion, emphasize important words, and make their speech engaging. Practice raising your pitch slightly at the end of questions, stressing important words in a sentence, and lowering your voice to indicate certainty. For example, I love English, emphasize love, versus I love English. Slightly rising tone for a question. Record yourself, listen, and adjust. Over time, your speech will sound more natural, confident, and expressive. Fluency also comes from thinking ahead while speaking. This might sound advanced, but it's simple with practice. Instead of thinking word by word, try to plan your next idea while you are speaking. For example, if you say, I like hiking, immediately think of the next sentence, like, because it helps me relax and enjoy nature. This keeps your speech continuous. At first, it may feel challenging, but with short, daily exercises, your brain learns to anticipate and prepare, and your sentences flow naturally. Another step is practicing storytelling. Storytelling is one of the best ways to improve fluency because it forces you to organize ideas and speak continuously. Start with simple stories about your day. This morning, I woke up early. I brushed my teeth and ate breakfast. Then I walked to school and met my friend. We talked about the new movie we want to watch. As you get better, add more details, emotions, and expressions. Storytelling makes speaking fun, and your brain learns to produce English naturally without stopping to translate. A very important tip for fluency is active listening. Listening and speaking go hand in hand. When you listen to native speakers, notice how they link words, use fillers, stress certain words, and change intonation. Then, try to imitate them immediately. For example, if someone says, I really love traveling because it's exciting, practice saying it with the same rhythm and emotion. This trains your brain and mouth to produce fluent speech automatically. Confidence plays a massive role in Part 3. Fluency is not just about words, it's about believing in yourself. Many learners hesitate because they are afraid of mistakes. But fluency comes when you speak boldly, even if it's not perfect. Speak with emotion, use gestures, and engage as if you are in your own language. The more confident you are, the more your brain bypasses translation, and the words just come out naturally. Remember, confidence is a skill you build by speaking every day, not by waiting to be perfect. Let's also talk about daily routines for fluency practice. Here's a simple 30-minute plan. 1. 10 minutes thinking in English. Look around, describe objects, your actions, and surroundings in complete sentences. 2. 10 minutes shadowing. Choose a short podcast, YouTube clip, or conversation. Repeat immediately, mimicking speed, rhythm, and intonation. 3. 10 minutes speaking out loud. Use phrases, small sentences, storytelling, and connect ideas. Speak with confidence and emotion. Consistency is the secret. Even 30 minutes daily will dramatically improve your fluency in a few weeks. Skip one day, and your brain loses rhythm. Keep a routine, track your progress, and celebrate small wins. Every fluent sentence is a victory. Finally, let's combine all Part 3 techniques. Think in English, use small sentences and phrases, link words naturally, practice intonation, storytelling, shadowing, and real conversations. Add confidence, emotion, and daily consistency, and you will see your fluency skyrocket. You will notice that you no longer pause to translate, you connect ideas naturally, and English starts feeling like your first language. Remember, fluency is a journey. There will be challenges, but with consistent practice, patience, and daily exposure, you will speak smoothly, confidently, and naturally. Every mistake is progress. Every sentence you speak builds your brain's automatic English pathways. And one day, you will speak English without thinking, with emotion, clarity, and flow, just like a native speaker. When you continue practicing every single day, something amazing begins to happen inside you. At first you may feel it is slow, at first you may think nothing is changing, but deep down your brain is learning, it is building new connections, it is preparing you for the moment when English will simply flow out of your mouth without stopping. Think about the times you hesitated before, when you stayed silent because you were afraid to say the wrong word, when you translated in your head and the conversation moved forward without you. Compare that to now, where little by little you are gaining speed, your sentences are coming faster, and your voice sounds more natural. This is not magic, it is practice, but practice with emotion, with energy, with the belief that you can do it. Because when you add feeling to your words, when you use your voice strongly even when practicing alone, your brain remembers better, your confidence grows stronger, and you start to enjoy the process instead of fearing it. Every learner in the world has felt nervous, every learner has thought they are not good enough, but those who keep speaking anyway are the ones who become fluent. So do not wait for the perfect moment, do not wait for the perfect grammar, just use what you have, speak with the words you know, and trust that every time you open your mouth in English you are building your future. Mistakes are not the enemy, silence is the enemy. Mistakes will teach you, mistakes will guide you, and every mistake is a sign that you are moving forward. So speak bravely, even if your heart beats fast, even if your hands shake, because the moment you push yourself to speak you are already winning. Remember also that you do not need to study for hours to make progress. Even short daily practice creates huge change if you are consistent. 5 minutes of shadowing, 5 minutes of self-talk, 5 minutes of describing your world in English, these simple habits will shape your fluency more than any big complicated plan. Consistency is stronger than intensity. Think about brushing your teeth. You do it every day without fail, even if only for a short time, and that habit keeps you healthy. Do the same with English. Treat it like something you cannot skip, something that is part of your daily life, and slowly you will realize you are thinking in English without effort. And when you notice that moment, when you suddenly realize you answered a question without translating, when you spoke smoothly without planning, celebrate it, smile, and feel proud. That is proof that your training is working, that your persistence is paying off. You are no longer the learner who stayed quiet, you are becoming the speaker who joins, who shares, who expresses themselves clearly. Step by step, word by word, practice by practice, you are transforming into someone who speaks English with confidence, with courage, and with joy. And as you keep going on this journey, you will begin to notice how different you feel compared to when you first started. In the beginning maybe you felt shy, maybe you were scared of what others might think, maybe you believed fluency was something far away, something only other people could achieve. But now you understand that fluency is not a dream, it is the result of daily effort, of showing up again and again, of refusing to give up even when it feels hard. This new version of you is stronger, more confident, more open to the world, because every word you speak in English is not just practice, it is proof of your growth. You are proving to yourself that you are capable, that you are brave, that you can step into conversations instead of staying in the background. There will still be moments when you hesitate, there will still be times when you forget a word or make a mistake. But now you know that these moments are not failures, they are simply part of learning. Think about a child learning to walk, they fall again and again, but nobody tells them to stop, nobody says they are a failure. Falling is part of walking, just as mistakes are part of speaking. Each time you make one, you are actually moving forward, you are collecting experience, and with each step you get closer to true fluency. So instead of feeling embarrassed, feel proud that you are practicing, because practicing means progress. What matters most is that you keep speaking. Speak with friends, speak with strangers, speak to yourself, but never stop using your English voice. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes, the more natural it feels, until one day you realize you are no longer learning English, you are living in English. And that is the moment when fear disappears, when hesitation fades away, and when confidence becomes your new habit. Imagine yourself in the future, joining a conversation without thinking twice, expressing your ideas clearly, telling your story with pride, and listening to others without stress. That future is waiting for you, and every small practice today is building that reality. So take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and keep moving forward. Celebrate the small wins, stay patient with the struggles, and never doubt that you are capable of becoming fluent. Your voice matters, your ideas matter, and the world deserves to hear you. Speak with courage, speak with energy, speak with the joy of knowing that every single word brings you closer to the confident, fluent English speaker you are meant to be. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember this truth. Fluency is not a gift, it is a habit, and it is already growing inside you.